Hi, welcome along to MLR Daily. Now listen, I hope I've got everything right. Yeah, we got in landscape, so that's all good. I thought what we do today is go with the show, doing it live, and let's talk about some transfers. It's transfer season, and it's all happening about transfers. I thought I'd do a little transfer Q&A today where you guys can put to me transfer rumours, and I'll try and tell you whether I think it's a very strong transfer rumour, something that could happen, or something that is total waste of time that ain't going to happen. And I'll try and do my best on that. And it's not just Arsenal, as you know, on this channel. This channel's about every club. So first one I'm going to kick off there. Joe B, he says Ronaldo to Manchester United. Now listen, the big rumour that's been going around since yesterday is that Cristiano Ronaldo has said that he wants to quit Spain. Now, this is a lot to do with the fact that at the moment he's got real tax problems in Spain. He's been accused of tax fraud. He's really, really angry about it, and he's kind of lashed out saying that, you know what, I might just quit Spain. I think there's more in that he's just like totally fed up with the whole situation. So he's been linked with Manchester United, he's been linked with PSG, all the clubs that would normally be really interested in him. He's been linked with a move to China, where they're saying that there's clubs in China that would be prepared to pay him £1 million a week. But if I'm being truthful, I think it's just Ronaldo sounding off. He's done this before when he was unhappy, and I don't think he'll leave Spain. I think they'll work this one out, so I don't think that's going to happen. Somebody else there just said John Terry to Birmingham City. Now, Harry Redknapp has actually come out and said, listen, they have made, this is not just rumours, they've made a real bid on Birmingham City to try and get John Terry. And, you know, for Harry Redknapp, you know, having somebody like John Terry playing at Birmingham in the Championship would be amazing with his leadership qualities, etc. And it's a real bid, you know. Birmingham City have made a real bid for John Terry. However, I'd be really surprised if I saw John Terry step down into the Championship to do that grind every single week. I'll be really surprised. I'll be really surprised to see him go to possibly another Premier League club. He's been linked with Bournemouth. I just get the feeling that John Terry might go to the MLS, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. It all depends on this, but it is a real bid. Marco Reus to Chelsea. I haven't really heard much about that one. Reus been linked with every Premier League club for quite a few years. The only thing about Marco Reus is that he's very injury prone, and I think that's what's halted him getting a move sooner over to one of the other big clubs. And I just get the feeling that I don't think it will happen. I think Royce will still be playing in Germany next season. Another United fan there asking about Bale to Man United. Now, Bale to Man United, again, I don't think that's going to happen. Bale wants to stay. Somebody there asking about Dembele to Barcelona. That's now Ousmane Dembele. The only thing I think Barcelona would love to get Ousmane Dembele, because he's definitely going to move on at some stage from Dortmund. I get the feeling he will still be at Dortmund this season, but next season he'll probably move on, and then I think Barcelona will be the team that will really go in for Ousmane Dembele. But what a player he is. How did every Premier League team miss out on him when he was for sale last year? Dortmund went in and bought him. Why didn't teams like my own team, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, go and get him? He's going to be a superstar player. I speak to my friends over in Dortmund, who are Dortmund season ticket holders, and they say he's world class already. And we saw the other night just a little taste of him. He is a seriously talented player, and when he's going to be another one of those players that's going to go for about £100 million. But I don't think Dembele will move this season. I really don't. Ramsey Arsenal saying Arsenal should buy the goalkeeper from AC Milan. That's a Doom. I can never pronounce his name. You know who he is, right? He's only 18. Talented keeper. Hasn't signed a new contract with AC Milan. I still get the feeling he could stay at Milan. You know, he's such a good keeper. They won't want to lose him. Got a lot of money at the moment, Milan as well, so he could still be there. Ishmael saying Douglas Costa to Arsenal. Now, a lot of Arsenal fans would like to see that happen, but I think Douglas Costa is going to end up at Juventus. Juventus are the ones that are making the serious play for Douglas Costa, and I think that's where he could end up. A lot of people are asking about Thomas Lemar, talented midfielder, plays for Monaco. Been linked with loads of clubs in Europe. Heavily linked with Arsenal. Somebody here is saying Lemar and Bakayoko. Bakayoko being heavily linked with Chelsea. Igor says Renato Sanchez to Chelsea. I've heard that one as well. Of course, Bayern Munich, I think, will sell Renato Sanchez. It's been really disappointing. They bought him in after the Euros. He was brilliant in those Euros. Hasn't really hit it off. Well, hasn't had a chance really to hit it off at Bayern Munich, and it is looking like they're going to cash in on him. And we could see him in the Premier League. He's a really talented player. Who else we got here? Yo says Aubameyang to Arsenal. I don't know. I mean, there's been no noises yet from Arsenal that they're trying to move for Aubameyang or any other English club, which really surprised me, because I thought every English club would be straight in for him. A lot of people are asking about Ross Barkley and where's he going to end up.
There's no red.
It's really going to be interesting to see where Ross Barkley ends up. I mean, he's not going to go to United, I don't think. He won't go to Man United. They don't really need him. Can't see him going to Arsenal. Man City don't need him. Can't see him going to, well, he won't go to Liverpool, will he? As an Everton player. Spurs don't really want him. They've not really shown any interest, which then only really leaves the sort of teams below them. Teams like Southampton. Is Ross Barkley going to want to go to Southampton? You know, that's a real step down, really. You know, no disrespect to Southampton. I think he's looking to try and step up. And then you've got to remember that a lot of these players, they're playing and they're thinking about next year. At the end of the season, it's all about getting into that World Cup squad, which of course Ross Barkley would want to be doing. And if you're not playing week in, week out, which he's not gonna at Everton, you've got no chance of getting into the World Cup squad. So Ross Barkley's move is gonna be really interesting to see where he ends up. But I just can't see him at any of the top 6 clubs right now. Somebody else there was asking about it was the Everton rumour, but it's disappeared now. Sorry. There. Another one that someone was asking about was Alex Sandro to Chelsea. Now, apparently Chelsea want Sandro, but the money that they're asking for Sandro is humongous. So Sandro could move. He's a top player, but it's going to cost a lot of money. A lot of people are asking about Mohamed Salah to Liverpool. I do think that deal's going to happen. It's just haggling over money at the moment, but I do think it's going to happen. NCS, they're asking about Giroud going to West Ham. I don't think so. I think Giroud will still be an Arsenal player. I don't think Arsene Wenger wants to let him go, despite the rumours that you've heard. But he would be great for West Ham. He would just be the sort of player, be brilliant for them. Van Dijk, somebody's asking, where's he going to end up? Again, that's another really interesting one. I mean, he was going to Liverpool. That's dead. Liverpool basically really messed up that transfer. We're talking to him when they hadn't even spoken to the club yet, and you know, so they've had to back out of that completely. Manchester City do like Van Dijk, but they're like saying there's no way they're paying 50 million for Virgil van Dijk. And now, who else can afford that sort of price for a defender? I can see Van Dijk staying put and maybe moving on in January at the moment. But at the moment, it's the price tag that's putting a lot of the teams off right now. It's only Liverpool really that were prepared to pay that whopping price tag, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Diego Costa to AC Milan. Possibility, strong possibility this one. He's definitely going to be leaving Chelsea. He's fallen out with Antonio Conte. There's no coming back, I can't see, off of that one. So he'll be on the move. And AC Milan, I think, will be perfectly suited for him. He wants to go back to Atletico Madrid, but he can't at the moment because they've got a transfer ban. So that's not going to happen. So yes, I can see that happening. Somebody is asking there about Carlos Bacca to Everton. Now Everton splashing the cash at the moment. They bought Pickford, Klassen. They are looking at bringing in a striker, and Carlos Bacca has been spoken about. He's a very good player, Bacca. The only thing about him is he's starting to knock on a bit. He's starting to get a bit old now. So it'd be really interesting to see what the transfer fee will be. But AC Milan are willing to sell him. James says Koulibaly to Chelsea would be a wonderful signing for Chelsea. Again, another defender is going to cost a lot of money, but he's probably one of the best defenders at the moment in Italy, and I think he'd be excellent for Chelsea. Who'd make way for him though? That's the question, because you think about their defence at the moment. You know, Gary Cahill probably going to be the captain next season. David Luiz had a brilliant season. You got Kurt Zouma still there. You know, it'd be really, if Koulibaly comes in, I mean, you can't pay, you know, it's going to be 40-50 million pounds for a centre back and he's sitting on the bench. Nah. Nasri back to Arsenal? I don't think so. Where's Sami Nasri going to end up? Because again, he's another player that, you know, is surplus to requirements at Manchester City. And it's been really surprising that nobody's really come in for Sami Nasri yet, because he is a talented player. The only thing about him is just attitude-wise, you know. Maybe that's why a lot of teams don't really want to take a chance with him. But he is a very good player. Insigne to Arsenal, I don't think that will happen. Someone's saying Nasri to China. He could end up in China. Bellerin to Barcelona, I can't see that happening. Arsenal going to hold on to Bellerin. He won't be going to Barcelona, at least not yet. Thomas Muller to Arsenal, I haven't heard that one. I wouldn't mind that. He's a top player, but you know, he didn't play on a regular basis last season for Bayern Munich, and he'd be really disappointed in that. So somebody else in Mahrez, where will Mahrez end up? Again, been linked heavily with Arsenal, been linked heavily with Chelsea. At the moment, it doesn't look like there's been any concrete offers for Riyad Mahrez, but he will definitely be on the move before the end of the window. I'm going to do a few more here. Lukaku to Chelsea, I can think that's going to happen. Diego Costa, as I said, looks like he's going to leave. I think Lukaku will go in, and I'll tell you what, when Lukaku goes in there, he's going to have to hit the ground running, because whatever you think about Diego Costa, he scores goals. He scored 20 goals last season. Now listen, Lukaku scores goals as well, but he's going to have a mission to win over the fans there, you know. So, you know, I think Lukaku, you know, with great players around him, obviously he's going to do even better. But you know, he could be a hit at Chelsea, but he will have to hit the ground running. Somebody here was asking about Draxler. Draxler only just signed for PSG last season. He won't be going anywhere. Draxler will be a PSG player. They're not a selling club. Gonna do a couple more. Emil Forsberg, somebody says there, talented player. Plays for Ajax. I kind of get the feeling he could be on the move before the end of the transfer window. At the moment, there's been a lot of clubs been spoken about, but as I've heard, there's no real bids that have really gone in for him. Giggs to Southampton now. Ryan Giggs has put forth his name, wants to be the manager of Southampton, but I don't think he will be. I kind of think that they're looking for a manager a bit more experience, and that's a takeover from Claude Puel, who got sacked. But yeah, I can't see Ryan Giggs getting a job. I'd be very surprised Ryan Giggs getting a job like that. And Nietzsche beat to Arsenal. Oh, I love some of the these what you guys put in here. Joe Hart to West Ham. I can see that happening. He's another guy like Ross Barkley in that he's at a top club now. He's definitely moving, but I can't see him at any of the top 6 clubs. They're just not going to have him. So yeah, I could see that one. I could see Joe Hart at West Ham. that would not surprise me at all, and apparently they are interested, so I could definitely see that one. Herrera to Barcelona. Herrera's not going to go nowhere. He had a great season last year for Man United. They're not going to sell him. Certainly not yet. And let me just have a look as you're flashing up. I'm going to take one more. Who am I getting? There's so many coming up. Sanchez to City, because quite a few of you have said about Sanchez to City. No, it's not going to happen. Arsenal definitely not going to sell Alexis Sanchez to Man City or Chelsea. I think the bigger threat would be for him to move abroad. I'm starting to think that he will still be an Arsenal player come the end of the transfer window. Listen, thanks for watching this live stream. We're going to start doing a few more of these. Keep it locked here on Man Like Robbie. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got content every single day right throughout the summer talking about transfers. And if you want the best transfer news, keep it locked right here, even though I got the Forsberg at Ajax thing wrong. But I've got pretty decent knowledge on, transfer stuff. So, keep it here. Man Like Robbie.